All right. Today on For the Love of Sports, I have Chantell Taylor. She's a defensive end for the New York Stars of the Women's Football League, formerly of the LFL Chicago Bliss, where she won the championship in 13, 14, 16, and 18. Chantell, how are you today?
Hi, Michael. How are you? I'm doing really well here in beautiful Miami. Getting
Beautiful
some
Miami.
sun,
Very jealous, very
catching
jealous. It's
some
nice.
rays.
It's nice here. I can look up, I can see some sunshine, so I'm excited to get outside, but I'm also very excited to get to chat with you today. This should be a lot of fun. So, Chantel, the first question I have for everybody on the For the Love of Sports podcast is, why do you love sports so much?
So sports to me is another outlet, just for me to like release frustration and any animosity and hurt that I have built up. So I've just always been a sports girl. I'm really a daddy's girl. I was raised around my dad, so for the most part, I've always been involved from shooting a pistol to shooting a basketball. Like all
Let's go.
sports, I've been known like how to talk. So it's just something that I really enjoy, something that's fun to me, and just really the biggest part for me is the competitiveness. I'm very competitive, so that's really the biggest reason why I love sports.
That is awesome. And yeah, I mean, there's so much you can learn from sports, and competition is one of the most important things. Obviously, in every competition, no one goes out and wins every single time. That's just not how it works. Floyd Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather for a reason, right? So it's always very
Definitely.
interesting to me, that competition and growing up. And, as you said, daddy's girl, I think that's very cute too. And so what was it like? I mean, growing up and being that competitive, I know for me personally, I hate to lose, which is also a reason why I sometimes hate to compete. And that's kind of, something I have to personally get over. But especially
hmm
in the beginning, what was it like? I mean, growing up in Chicago and really always having to compete and doing whatever you did.
So in general, Chicago is a very competitive city, but that nature actually made me who I am as a woman today because this that like go out and grind, have to understand what's life and get it mentality. Where I was born and raised, I was born in one of like the roughest neighborhoods in the Chicagoland area. So I was kind of just naturally taught to have thick skin and not let a lot get to me and get like bother me. But at the end of the day, just in the world of sports and where I grew up, it kind of pushed the competitiveness and it pushed me to want to be good at everything I come from because the statistics of being from like the hood and being from a bad area, people generally don't get out and don't make it
Hmm.
and find happiness and doing something in life good for themselves. So that's the biggest part for me, just being able to where I grew up, how I trying to break the barriers of
Hmm.
not being a statistic and actually accomplishing my real life goals.
That is fantastic. And
Yeah.
kudos to you. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I came from a very different place, so I have no idea what that is like. And how is it now feeling like you have at least accomplished something? You've, as you said, you broke those statistics, you got past at least one of those, few of those barriers without,
Definitely.
diving too deep into your story, which obviously we're going to do in the next few minutes. I mean, what is that feeling like? Just understanding like, hey, I accomplished the one goal I was setting out to do.
So that feeling for me, not knowing, like just sometimes when you in situations where you feel like you stuck and you won't get out, you have to bring yourself out of those situations. So at one point in time, I won't say I was in a depression stage, but very close to that stage, I felt
Hmm.
like, as far as feeling sorry for myself and not like using the environment around me to become better. I was really trying to be like mentally stuck in it instead of letting it push me to make me better. And once I started feeling like, oh, woe is me, and stopped feeling sorry for
Hmm.
myself, it was just like a complete flip. And I used that negative and turned it into that positive. And now I just feel like I'm an unstoppable woman. So
I love
I
it.
just had to come out of that mindset. It's really
Hmm.
everything is based about your mentality.
I completely agree. And that's something that I've been practicing over the last few years, is really just making sure that I have that self-awareness, the opportunity to always be grateful. Everything, every situation you're in, it
Absolutely.
always can be worse. So being grateful for everything, and being inspired and making sure that you're doing what you're trying to do because you love it. And what was it like? I guess, you said you flipped that switch. How did you go, like, how did you flip that switch, and how did you get to that point mentally where you were capable of doing something like that?
Like I said, I just had to stop feeling sorry for myself.
Hmm.
That's pretty much like that's the main thing. But I just realized like time isn't stopping. Like I'm getting older and I'm constantly feeling sorry for myself. I'm not doing anything with my life to the extent of me pushing myself to actually where I want to be in life. Just because of different traumatic childhood experiences, I held on to a lot of hurt and a lot of
Mhm.
anger, and I kind of kept that hurt and that anger like stuck inside of me, portrayed on upon the people that hurt me. And it was just hard at one point in my life to just like completely just let it all go and get over it, because I realized only I have the
Mhm.
privilege to change my life. So
That's
it doesn't matter
100%.
what like nobody did to me, what nobody said to me, how anybody made me feel. At the end of the day, I have to make my life the way I want it to go, regardless of what anybody has done
I
to
love
hurt
it.
me or make me feel good. So,
Good for you. I mean, it's hard for people to do that, right? It's not it's a lot easier said than done. And as you said,
absolutely.
it's not like it was something that happened overnight. It sounds like this was something over a period of time where you're able to let go of all those wrongs and other people that have done things to you and realize, hey, this is what they did. We can't change the past. It is what it is. Now let's just try and move forward and be as good and as great as we can. So getting, going back to kind of, growing up in Chicago a little bit, when did you start? As you said, you always kind of you're shooting pistols, shooting basketballs. I love the way you say that. And then, so when did you start to play football, or at least when did you start to fall in love with the sport?
So, the little backstory on that, like I said, I've been a life athlete. When I was a little girl in grammar school, like seventh and eighth grade, I have little brothers. So,
Hmm.
during recess, like it was probably sixth, seventh, eighth grade, we used to always go out, and I was always like an attractive little girl, like little girly girl, but I still had like the sports in me.
Hmm.
So the little guys, my classmates, they never wanted me to play with them. So me and my brother are actually 18 months apart. So I was in seventh grade, he was in sixth grade. So he was always the quarterback on the team. So me and him one day we got together like, I want to play football at recess with y'all, bro. Like you need to let me in the game. So he like, okay, sis, come on, you playing. So I started end up playing on the recess on the playground, and I was just like, he'd hand me the ball and I was running and I juke the guys and I get to the whatever the little line was that we made our
Love
end
it.
zone. And it was just like, damn, it's fun. Like I really think I could do this. So once I graduated eighth grade, I went to an all girls Catholic high school called Maria in the Marquette Park area of Chicago. I started an intramural football team there. So my classmates versus like the sophomores or whatever,
Hmm.
however it went. Like as we got older, it would just always go versus the lower class, the lower classmen. So the name of my team was certified, and of course we used to win every football tournament
Hmm.
that I created, and that was dope. So it was just always something that I like. This all I got to do: get a ball and run and score touchdowns and get past people. Like so. Um, when I got to college, my first sport is actually basketball. I had a full scholarship to play basketball, and
Wow.
I was pretty like I was a sheltered child, but once I got to college, it was just like wow, I realized I'm on my own time.
Hmm.
So I was kind of like in my own way and worried about the wrong things. I was too worried about what was going on at home, and I still wanted to be like involved. I was like that stuck mentality that I was telling you about. I was not strong enough to let stuff go yet. So,
Hmm.
pretty much, I ended up watching the LFL on TV every night as I was doing my studies, doing my homework, and in the same process, I'm going through like conditioning and workouts with the basketball team and my coaches and the women. It was just for me, I was only getting along with like maybe two girls on the team, and it was just weird personality conflicts with my coaches. So it was almost like the scene on Love and Basketball when all the upperclassmen looking at her and they like, "What do you?" It was just too many weird
Hmm.
vibes, and
Hmm.
I'm all about good energy. So I was doing the best I could, number one to everything, going very hard, and my coach wanted to redshirt me, and I didn't like that. But it was basically based off of experience based. So
Hmm.
I was like, no, I don't want to be redshirted. Like I'm a good athlete. Like I don't want to sit under seniors. I didn't understand like at the time how that level
Yeah.
went as well too. So um, once I decided like I completely was burnt out of playing basketball because I've been
Uh-oh.
I was just I
Hey,
came
you're back.
home.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
can you
just
see me?
lost you for probably the last like 30 seconds, let's call it. So right after you got burnt out from basketball, if you want to start over there.
Okay, so after I got burnt out from basketball, I was just watching the LFL on TV all day doing my studies, and I was just like, I know I can come home and go play football. Like, so I ended up coming home the day that I dropped out of the second semester of my sophomore year in college. Tryouts was
Hmm.
the same exact afternoon, so I hurried up, scattered
Hmm.
home, unpacked all my stuff, begged my mom to take me to the tryout. I went to the tryout for the LFL. I got to the tryout. It was kind of confusing. It was like girls and thigh high Botox, and then it was like really athletic women. So I knew that it was like a girly thing, but I
Hmm.
didn't understand at the time the slogan was models and lingerie playing football. So I was just like, okay, like I'm a real athlete, so that kind of like threw me off. But it kind of went with my look as well. So I'm like, okay, I guess, get into it. So went through tryouts, went through all the training camps. So I got down to like the final 20 girls. Me and my coach, we were kind of having discrepancies because I always felt like I wanted to be a female Jerry Rice, and he wanted me to go to like the lineman line. And I didn't understand like the knowledge of football. I wasn't like into
Hmm.
really what football was. I just knew I get the ball and I run and I score touchdowns.
Love it.
So me and him kind of like I got into a situation where he was like, well, I'm gonna cut you because I don't see you developing or anything happening, and you want to keep doing what you want to do and go to the receiver line, and I want you to go to the lineman line. So I'm like, okay, I want to play so bad, I'll just
Hmm.
go to the lineman line. So we did a little scrimmage, and once he seen me play, he was like, yeah, you're gonna be one of the greats in this league. And he spoke that into existence, and in the LFL, that's what I am. So I'm like one
That's
of the
awesome.
most winningest players in the LFL. Like you said, 4 championships. I've been out the country playing football. I've been all over the 50 states almost playing football. Everything in the LFL is a great experience overall. It's just the owner of the league is very a controlling man, and just to a certain extent, he wants everything that we work for as athletes like to completely go into his pocket, and
Mm.
we have to pay to play. And like the facade of the LFL is everybody thinks that it's a professional league because of how he makes it look, but
Hmm.
it's not a professional league. Like the way that the women are treated is not okay. The women really will never benefit off of the strength of being athletes in the LFL because it's just something solely that it's his baby, and he's basically using us because that's
Hmm.
what he wants to do when everybody could eat off of our talent, and he still could. But it's just selfishness, and like I played for a long time and I enjoyed it, but I also knew like in the back of my head with the uniforms, like it was all sexual exploitation. I grew up though, I
Hmm.
came out of it, and I focused on my life for a year after I won my last championship. And once I completely focused on myself, like I've been doing great. So I don't regret playing football, but I kind of do feel like as far as where I could be in the
Hmm.
timeline of my life, I'm 30 years old and I started playing football when I was 19. So if I would have just been more focused on having some type of financial stability in the midst of me trying to play football, but I was chasing a dream. I was
Hmm.
like feeling like I was going to get something bigger out of just being an athlete in the LFL because that's how it was portrayed. But um,
That's interesting.
overall,
Yeah.
yeah, overall, I'm not mad at it. I just wish that we could be taken more seriously, like for real, and not
Hmm.
make it seem like
Yeah.
we take it seriously.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, not a lot of people understand the inner workings of the LFL, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I know everything. But from someone like yourself who has been there and seen it and been there and done it for a very long time, it's always very interesting to hear those stories and kind of recant some of that. And I do want to hop back. I mean, kudos getting a scholarship to play basketball alongside the opportunities that you had. I mean, that's incredible. And I don't believe in coincidences. The day you drop out is also the day of the tryout. So would you look at that? And
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm sure you are as well. I'm grateful that you listened to that coach. He saw something in you, as you said. He spoke it into existence. You became one of the best in all time in the LFL. And I
Yep.
think it's impressive what you've been able to do and how you've been able to do it. And as you said, the LFL, it's models. It's a very, I mean, it's a niche to say the least. And I've actually spoken to a few people. One being Sentia Deck, absolutely incredible athlete,
Mhm.
who also played in the LFL, and she was not the biggest fan of it because of kind of the, as you said, the sexual exploitation and what kind of comes from it. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting into, but I don't believe you fully know what you're getting into until you're there and see it, and
Absolutely.
feel it and understand it. So I guess from that end, I mean, you were there for a very long time. Did you? And you said you wish you were able to spend time on yourself a little bit sooner, but thankfully at least you started doing that now. How did you feel when you were playing in the LFL and you know, kind of dealing and hearing some of these things that the fans would say and the people would say? And, you know, as you said, I didn't realize it was pay to play. I thought you were getting paid. So, I mean, that's probably very frustrating
And
too.
that's what everybody thinks, and that's why it's so frustrating because once again, like I'm saying, the whole entire everybody that feel like the LFL was such a big thing, it's like they think as women athletes we're getting treated with like
Hmm.
the most respect and like royalty, and it's the complete opposite of that. But just like I said, over time I stuck in it because I'm very blessed and I'm very athletically inclined, and I feel like once I stopped playing basketball, if I didn't fill that void, like something would be
Hmm.
missing. And I'm not
Yep.
even gonna lie, like I played football all the time. 2019 was my first year not playing since 2009, and I did, and I kind of still do. It's kind of leaving now, but I kind of feel like I was going through a really bad breakup,
Hmm.
like I felt like a void in my heart, like I don't have football no more, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, like what I'm gonna spend my time doing different. But I focused on my life and me being a grown woman and being stable and having my own everything. And that was like one of my biggest goals. So to accomplish all of that, once I did put football down, that is what puts me in the mind frame of I could have been so much farther ahead if I wouldn't have took football more serious in my life,
Hmm.
I think.
Hmm. And of course, I mean that's, you know, it's very easy, you know, as we were talking about before, it's very difficult to kind of come to that self-awareness and be able to put those things behind you. But at the same time, it's very easy to look back and say, I wish I did it then. You know, at least you did it now, right? At least you had that opportunity to do it now, which I think is very important. And you still were able to do something you loved for 10
Hmm.
years, right? Like that's incredible. Getting the opportunity to do something you absolutely love for 10 years, I think is one of the coolest, one of the best possible opportunities that you're going to get. And, you know, again, kudos to you for doing that and having that opportunity and being able to enjoy the heck out of it. So congratulations there. And when you did finally get the opportunity and, you know, you were told you could get the opportunity to play in the LFL, how did that, like, what kind of validation and how did you feel just when you were told like, hey, you're going to play again, it's not exactly as we all thought, but you're going to be able to play professional football in some capacity?
So that's a really crazy story because I
Oh no, Chantal, I'm losing you. I'm sorry.
cried, believed, let the dream go, cried about it again. Like I just always felt, why is it not fair for women athletes to go so hard and work just as hard as the men? But because, however, this world that we live in is created and society is set up, we can't be taken seriously on a platform to be paid professional athletes. And I let the dream go. Like after I got out in 2018 and I decided like, okay, the coaches that you grew up with that taught you everything is going to be completely different. It was hard learning football. I don't want to have to necessarily coach and reteach a whole another decade of women. Like I'm 30 years old, so I came in at age 19, so I don't want to have to necessarily reteach women how to like learn the terminology and the knowledge. Like football is, it's a verbiage. Like you have to actually sit down and study it and understand and know what position is what and what you're doing. Um, so I let that dream go and I spent my 30th birthday in Miami in December.
Happy
And
birthday.
thank you. And on December, my birthday was December 10th. On December 11th, I was conference call in on a call with Ja Rule, the award-winning rapper, and he asked me if I would like to be a part of a newly owned franchise team in New York that he owned, and that it was a paid professional women's football team. So I was just like, like this is interesting. Like what you said, like I don't believe in coincidences. Like it's the law of attraction. Like everything coming back around. I gave the dream up. And now here we are again. Like the dream is coming to me, and now
Hmm.
this time it seems like it's legit. So I had a lot of different feelings. Like I was happy, I was like ecstatic, like I was crying. I was like, man, that's really what I wanted. Is it real? Like, and then I'm still kind of apprehensive because I
Hmm.
was all the bad things that I went through in the LFL. So it's like I gave this up for a reason. So I don't want to get my hopes too high and then have it snatched back away from me because I don't know, like, is this real?
Hmm.
Because I already dealt with the craziness of it being fake real. So
And so what, like, how cool is it now that, again, I totally agree. Like the law of attraction is huge and kind of, it's interesting that you actually gave it up, but it's now coming back to find you. It still hasn't, it still believes that you have more in it, and you have more to do within the sport and to impress and inspire younger girls, which I think is incredible. And so how excited are you for the opportunity of playing in the league, but just the league itself, as you said, now females have the opportunity to actually get paid to play football.
right. So that's the biggest part. Like I said, as women, we put as much time and effort into going hard, practicing, working hard. Being a woman in general is not easy. Like it's a lot of stipulations and just like the society and the way of the world based off of us just being women, carrying children. Like a lot of different things should be set in place for a women athlete.
Mhm.
So being having the opportunity to have like real benefits and things that are actually we can benefit from and we'll just be able to not have to balance a work career and an athletic career.
Mhm.
We can just have like our athletic careers and we can be provided enough amount of money to take care of ourselves and our families by doing something that we love to do. And I don't think that's not fair.
Yeah. I think it's absolutely just one of those things. I mean, if it should be available and it should have the opportunity. It sounds like you've been able to um, jump onto that train. I mean, how cool is it that Ja Rule calls you up and is asking you and talking to you like, "Hey, do you want to come play? I've seen what you've
And the
done." Like,
conversation,
yeah. Oh no. Oh, we lost her again. Are you back?
yeah, I am.
All
I
right.
don't know why it keeps doing that. Let me see something.
It's all good. No worries. It only
I gotta see
happens
if
like
I'm on the
usually
Wi-Fi.
it's perfect and then all of a sudden it just hops out. So it's not the biggest deal. But so what yeah, the conversation with Ja Rule, what was that like?
So the conversation with Gyro, it was cool. Is it okay if I move around? Because I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
my
yeah, that's
phone
fine.
is about to die. Okay.
You're
I
perfect.
just want to put my phone on the charger.
I mean, we get more shots in Miami. I think it's a good if there's a place I want to watch you walk around, it's probably in Miami.
Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta go get my charger. My phone's about to die.
Nice house.
Yeah, it's pretty dope in
Haha.
here. Okay, we're back.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. We're back. All right, yeah. So tell me a little bit about that conversation with Ja Rule. That must have been crazy.
Oh yeah. So the conversation with Gyro, it was really really cool. For the most part, it was like I said, a big bro little sister conversation, but I just couldn't believe that I was on the phone. He was just asking me like he wanted to play football again. Like I have a new team and we gonna take you women serious. And like I said, I don't believe in coincidences either. And it just like that's how the universe works and the law of attraction. And once I thought I gave it up, it just came back to me just out the blue. So like I said, I'm a little apprehensive, but
Hmm.
I'm excited to see like from what standpoint like they're gonna take in the growth and the development of the league, what's gonna happen, like how big it's gonna be. Because I
Hmm.
actually believe that the founder and the owner of the league, she actually really does believe in us.
That's
So
awesome. And that's important. Obviously, you need the people all the way up at the top to be involved and understand and really make sure that they're putting in their blood, sweat, and tears just as you are. And so with that, I mean, I know the league's not starting until 2021, which is, I mean, looking at it right now is probably a great thing. I mean, obviously we saw what happened to the XFL. I know it's not a one-to-one comparison, but it's just very unfortunate that this new league comes up, people are paying attention, and then all of a sudden it pretty much just gets shut down, and now unfortunately probably won't be coming back. So with that, like, how excited are you, and what are you and the league, I guess, doing, or what is everybody around this opportunity doing to make sure that in 2021 this thing, goes off with a bang?
So I know, as far as the growth and development of the league, a lot of things are going on behind the scenes that we're not
Hmm.
really able to see. We have the owner of the league, come on, Instagram Live daily and just, keep us abreast on what's going on and what's happening, just so we won't feel like we're being left in the dark or not really sure on what's going on. But just from like my teammates and all the girls from across the world that I see, everybody is working hard, staying in shape. I constantly see women promoting and posting workout videos and just constantly making sure that we as women in alliance just stay relevant in the world to sports. So right now, from what I see, everybody is doing the best that they can to just make sure we get everything that we need to do taken care of. And I honestly believe that this is going to be something big, something different. I'm excited to see how it is going to all transpire once it finally does. I know I'm just waiting for the feeling to be back on the field again,
Hmm.
like ready to run out the tunnel. That's the
Just to
feeling.
hit somebody, right? Just
That's
go
the
out and
feeling.
hit somebody.
That's the feeling I'm looking for right
Oh
again.
man. And as a defensive end, I mean, sacking the quarterback, that's got to be one of the coolest feelings in the world, right? Like that, catching an interception, a touchdown is probably nice, but sacking a quarterback's just got to be the coolest, most impressed. Just take them down, you see their face, maybe strip sack. Tell me about that. What's that feeling like?
So that feeling for the most part, once I understood my job and what I was supposed to be doing, it was just it was history from there. So I look at the end zone that I'm protecting like this is my house and these are my family members behind me and you not breaking in my house. So I'm gonna make sure I do everything I can to stop that from happening. And that's just how Hack taught us, like football 101, like literally kick the shit across from who's ever in front of you. Like it
Let's
doesn't,
go.
it is what it is. It's not personal, but that's where the competitive side comes out because anybody that I go up against and stand in front of, I don't fear nobody. I'm like, I know that like this, I got this in the bag. This is easy, but that's just my mentality. That's just the way that I think, and
Hmm.
usually that's how I play as well. So it
Yeah.
works because that's how I feel as far as being a dominant person in my position. And my coach, when he started comparing me to Lawrence Taylor, like I knew that I was, yeah, a pretty good athlete in that sport. So
Hmm.
I'm yeah, I'm real happy with everything that I accomplished in football. I'm just excited to see like where the WFLA is really gonna go and like how much money we really actually can make and being able to wear real like bullpen helmets and actually real pads and full clothes. I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you. I think again, just getting to do what you love to do every day is the coolest feeling in the world. My favorite thing to do is talk to people like you and just get to ask you a bunch of questions. So thank you for letting me do that. I think it is really interesting and really cool. And again, you get that opportunity too. And so, you said you stopped playing in 2018 after that fourth title. So, I mean, I guess there's really not too much more to accomplish if you just keep winning the title over and over again. But what have you been doing for the last couple of years? As you said, you stopped in 18. 19, you kind of took that year off, then you got the call. The sport's not going to start up until 2021. So you're taking a few years off. What are you doing, I guess, either to keep yourself in shape or mentally, as you've been talking about too, making sure that you'll be able to perform at the highest level?
So mentally, I'm just like a mentally strong person. You know, every person has their weak moments, how I break down. But for the most part, I give myself prep talks every day. I talk it out like Chantell, let's go. Give myself talk in the mirror, and I'm like, I break down, have a fit, cry, all that. But I'm right back to it.
Let's
So
go.
yeah. So the just the general feeling of me knowing that like a breakthrough is actually on the verge of happening with this football thing, that just motivates me to stay in shape and keep myself going. So I'm not really one of the people that like post my phone on the ground and show what I'm doing, but I ran track and cross country, so I just to really stay in shape. Honestly, I run, so I run a couple miles a day, and then I'm like do like 30 suicides like from the one house to the next house, and I just really that's how I stay in shape. Like running makes me feel free. So I ran cross country in high school. I ran track. I played basketball. I did so many sports for
Hmm.
every different season. So I'm just used to like my body metabolizing and breaking down like the different parts of what I need to do as far as me working out. So overall, as a unit, especially the New York Stars, we're doing really good and working together just to keep promoting the name, promoting the league, the WFLA, the New York Stars, showing that we are putting in work and we are getting ready for the 2021 season.
I can't
Um,
wait.
all that's coming together really well. I'm excited as well for that, definitely.
Let's go. And how many teams are in the league?
So it's actually supposed to be comparable to the NFL. So I believe they want it to be is it 32? 32
Hmm.
teams, 55 player roster,
Wow, that's gonna be
AFC.
huge.
Yes. It's supposed to be a really, really big deal. And Icon Entertainment with Ja Rule, his entertainment company that he founded, they're supposed to be in charge of like all the entertainment for the show. So they wanted to be like halftime performances and like after game performances and just a different experience. But women really going at it on the gridiron. So I'm excited about it. I really, really am. Um, the time that I took off, I am actually a truck driver. So I drive 18 wheelers all
Hmm.
over 50 states, and I deliver supply demand goods. So bleach, pneumonia, food, all those type of any household needs that are in the store that you buy. That's what I deliver.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, obviously, that's something we're thanking all the people in the stores, but we're kind of forgetting the people that get the food and all the stuff to the store. So really, that's fantastic. I do thank you for that, Chantel. And what made you, I guess, want to become a truck driver? Was it just kind of what was there, or was that always something you wanted to do?
No, so actually, I knew that it was something that I would always end up doing. My family, and my dad has been driving trucks for like 45 years, maybe if not
Whoa.
longer. But I just knew that if the football didn't work out, I would always like it was always in the back of my mind. I'm just gonna get in the truck and go on the road. It was just something I always had a passion for. I've been in the truck on the road with my dad and my mom since I was a little girl. My mom, she has her CDO as well. My dad and my mom, they got married and they traveled the world together. Like I was probably conceived in the truck, so it's like it was just something that was natural that I was just waiting on. And I always had a feeling like it's something that I would do. So I have plans on like, driving all over, but as well, I have plans when football starts. Like I'm gonna, get my own truck and still have somebody on the road that I trust working for me while I'm playing football. And then if I feel the need to want to get back in the truck in the off season, like that's what I'm gonna do. But I just feel free. Like I don't like feeling like I have people over my back watching me. Like I'm a popular loner. Like I like my me time. I like being away, but I also like entertaining people, entertaining the crowd as well. I'm a very friendly, happy, goofy person. Like when I'm in a good mood, but then sometimes I'm just like I'm not feeling it today. So
Well, it seems like you've been feeling it today, so I do appreciate that, and you've been a lot of
for
fun to get to
you,
chat. Yeah, stop it, Chantel. You're too good to me. Thank you so much. This has been great. Really, just learning about you and what you've done, where you've came from, where you're going. I think is pretty cool. I mean, just the opportunity to be a part of this new football league that is as you said, you still have your kind of your hesitations, but at the same time, if there's an opportunity for you to pay to get paid to play the game that you've loved, as you said, since you were in recess in 7th grade, I think that's just so important. And you got to at least jump at that shot, because hey, worst comes to worst, you're in the same spot right now, hopefully in Miami with the sunshine,
and
right
that's
back to
what
that.
I said. I don't have nothing to lose either way.
Exactly.
So it's like get on my grind, take care of my business. God grant it come back in my life. It's real. That's the dream that came true.
There you go. Look at that. But Chantel, this was great. Last question I have for you is, I mean, as you kind of spoke about it, and we've been talking about speaking things into existence throughout this conversation for the last 30 minutes now. And with opportunity to now, it sounds like you're going to have your truck. You're going to potentially have somebody driving for you in the future. Is this something you can see growing into a business, or something that you would like to turn into a business? Considering that, as you even
Um,
said,
so
there was a good shot you were.
I actually have another dream. So I'm
Okay.
kind of like when people see me, they don't see truck driver. So I actually have a dream of having like me and maybe like 3 or 4 of my homegirls, like with maybe like 4 or 5 trucks, and just you know, being a woman and being in an industry that's male dominated, I just want to show like the world that women are inclined enough to do anything in the work that we want to do, and it doesn't matter like how you look to do it. So that's something else that I'm working on right now. I do have a couple of people that are thinking about deciding to drive, but
Hmm.
eventually I do like I'm not saying that it won't grow into something bigger. I do want to start small first, and it may can grow into something bigger because the trucking industry is very like it generates a lot of money if you're doing it right. I'm not greedy though. I just want to be comfortable. So I think I have maybe 3 trucks would be okay for me, a good fleet for me to run. I'm not like trying to be like a big JB Hunt or a Schneider, but if that happens, that would be great. But I just know because I want women to do it, it's not an easy job. Being a truck driver is not an easy job, and it's not. You have to have a lot of mental endurance to be able to be on the road by yourself constantly, like in a truck. It's not easy all the time. So
Yeah. Well, kudos to you. Kudos to your friends. What you've been able to build and what you're planning to build, I think is fantastic. And again, the football career, I hope you can do it as long as you want, as long as you can. And as you said, and we've been talking about get paid to do it. But Chantell, this was absolutely fantastic. Chantell Taylor, defensive end for the New York Stars of the Women's Football League. Really appreciate your time today, Chantell.
thank you for having me. Like